Yeah.
I've been Scientologist for over 30 years,
Yeah.
and it's something that, as you know, without it, I wouldn't be. It's everyone out there kind of rereading KSW and looking at what needs to be done and saying, okay, am I going to do it or am I not going to do it? Period. And am I going to look at that guy or am I too afraid because I have my own out ethics to put in someone else's ethics? And that's all it comes down to. Because I won't hesitate to put ethics in on someone else, you know, because I put it ruthlessly in on myself.
Imagine a man so powerful, he can drive any film to box office domination, jump from helicopters without a harness, and command a red carpet with a single smile. Yet behind that invincible facade lies a secret so dark, even he cannot escape it. Tom Cruise, Hollywood's fearless superstar, is entangled in the iron grip of Scientology, an organization Joe Rogan calls the most sophisticated system of control ever unleashed on a human soul. This is no ordinary celebrity scandal. It's a tale of whisper manipulation, high-stakes blackmail, and a golden cage built to keep one of the world's most famous men forever bound. Tom Cruise is a name that conjures images of unstoppable action heroes, million-dollar smiles, and a level of Hollywood success few can even dream of reaching. But according to Joe Rogan, the reality behind that polished fame is far darker than anyone suspects. Imagine a world in which every choice you make, every relationship you have, even your innermost thoughts, belong not to you but to a vast organization that operates in shadows, a realm where you appear to be a fearless movie star capable of leaping from helicopters and scaling skyscrapers. Yet behind the scenes, you are trapped within an invisible cage. That, Joe Rogan says, is the life of Tom Cruise. For decades, Cruise has been a golden face of Scientology, the most valued piece on a chessboard, and Rogan has spent years unraveling the story of how this worldwide empire of secrecy and control managed to seize not just a famous actor, but one of the most recognized figures on the planet. To truly understand how Tom Cruise ended up at the mercy of Scientology, we have to go back to the beginnings of his life. A chaotic childhood marked by an abusive father, endless relocations, struggles with dyslexia, and a deep-seated fear of being powerless. Even as he climbed the pinnacle of Hollywood with films like Risky Business and Top Gun, into a believer, better yet, a devoted disciple. The gains for Scientology would be immeasurable. While the world saw a handsome young actor blazing through Hollywood, signing multi-million-dollar contracts and collecting adoring fans, behind closed doors the auditing sessions began. Auditing, which Scientology promotes as a form of advanced therapy and self-improvement, is in fact a potent tool of psychological control. Members, including Cruise, are asked to confess their deepest insecurities, their most personal regrets, and their darkest secrets while hooked up to a device called an e-meter. Although touted as a harmless spiritual instrument, the e-meter is essentially a means of recording emotional responses, a tool that helps the organization gather the intimate details of a person's psyche. Everything is documented, stored, and filed away, potentially forever. In Cruise's case, Joe Rogan alleges, the church gained a wealth of information that could be used to ensure his unwavering loyalty. The deeper Cruise went, the more he entrusted them with every doubt, every shameful memory, every fear. Before long, he realized, or perhaps still has not fully realized, that these confessions became the chains locking him into Scientology. To leave would mean risking total destruction of his image and legacy. By the early 19 personal freedom, but possibly his ability to decide how to live his own life. The church oversees every aspect of it, from the biggest film decisions down to the most personal choices. This leads us to the disturbing revelations about Cruz's relationships. Many fans remember the high-profile marriages, first to Mimi Rogers, then to Nicole Kidman, and later Katie Holmes. Each seemed like a fairy tale union in the public eye, but behind the scenes, Joe Rogan sources say Scientology was pulling the strings. Mimi Rogers was the one who initially introduced Cruz to Scientology, sealing his link to the church. When it came to Kidman, the church believed bringing her into Cruz's life would expand their celebrity influence. Yet the moment she began questioning their methods, she was deemed a threat, a suppressive person, as Scientology terms its enemies, and swiftly cast out of Cruz's orbit. Their adopted children wound up, siding with Cruz, effectively alienating Kidman. Later, with Katie Holmes, the church allegedly vetted her background, guided the courtship, and ensured she was ready to embrace Cruz's world. Once she found out the extent of control at play, particularly the idea that her daughter, Suri, might grow up under the church's constant watch, Holmes orchestrated a stealthy escape, scheduling calls. Turning his back on Scientology may be tantamount to turning his back on the very force that gave him success. But Joe Rogan believes that success is a gilded cage, custom-built to keep Cruz exactly to confirm the structure of control that keeps Cruz and other high-profile members locked in place. They talk about the Black Vault, the rumored trove of confessions and damaging evidence the church collects from auditing sessions, ensuring that no defection goes unpunished. They mention closed-door ceremonies in which senior figures male worship and loyalty. by giving Cruise a sense that he is not just an A-list star, but a spiritual warrior fighting humanity's greatest battles. They ensure he remains loyal to the cause by holding the most private details of his life in their files. They lock him into a silent contract of compliance. By surrounding him with believers who echo the church's doctrines, they isolate him from the outside world. Joe Rogan points to one consistent pattern. Every time a high-profile departure from Scientology occurs, that person's life is turned upside down. They are labeled traitors, their reputation smeared, their personal history fallout will be astronomical for Cruise, for the church, and for the entire Hollywood ecosystem that has come to rely on his unstoppable box office draw. And so, Cruise remains exactly where he is, shining on the big screen, performing gravity-defying stunts, greeting fans at premieres with a megawatt smile, and returning each day to an existence that, according to Joe Rogan, is anything but free. The largest tragedy of all, Rogan suggests, is that Tom Cruise may no longer have any sense of self outside the church. People fear even name out loud. And Joe Rogan continues to speak up, continues to challenge Cruise and Scientology, because he sees it as a matter of principle. If even the biggest star in the world can be controlled this completely, what hope do ordinary members have to escape? For Rogan, it isn't about tearing Tom Cruise down. It's about exposing the truth of how mind control can exist right under our noses, how even the brightest spotlight can hide the darkest secrets. Scientology, at its core, is an empire of influence, fueled by millions of dollars, protected by battalions of lawyers, and cloaked in religious rhetoric that grants it surprising legal shields. Cruise stands at the pinnacle of that empire as a walking, talking advertisement that it all must be legitimate. Otherwise, why would an international superstar remain loyal year after year, smiling widely, defending the church at every turn? The narrative Scientology pushes is that Cruise owes his success, his discipline, even his miraculous stunts, to their teachings. For him to question, that is to question the foundation of his entire adult life. And Joe Rogan has come to realize that no matter how many times he invites Cruise to tell a side of the story, that microphone will most likely remain empty for many viewers. The overall into Hollywood's darkest corners and hidden truths.